Hi there. I want to tell everybody about the dangers of bone broth. And I know that this is just going to sound super, super crazy. It's going to be up there with finding out that there's no Santa Claus. But bone broth is something that you really need to be informed about. I'm just going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a few things about bone broth, just kind of right out of the gate, and then I'll tell you my story with it. So bone broth has an amino acid in it called L-glutamate, also called glutamic acid. Now, if you think about MSG, monosodium glutamate, so the G in MSG is glutamate, and that's the problem with bone broth, okay? So bone broth, after they cook the bones and they cook the meat for 24 to 48 hours, what happens is the, the regular amino acid, glutamate or glutamic acid, becomes unbound, all right? So when you're eating your chicken or your steak or whatever, yeah, it's got glutamate in it, but it's bound to the meat, or it's bound to a protein. I shouldn't say it's bound to the meat. It can be in meats. It can even be in some vegetables, I think. But it is bound to the protein at the cellular level in the food, so it's not going to hurt you. Your body completely knows what to do with it, knows how to metabolize it, and it knows exactly what to do with it. But when you cook something for 24 to 48 hours, it becomes unbound. Okay, so the glutamate in MSG is in an unbound form, and that is what makes MSG so harmful to people, okay? So the glutamate in MSG is free, and the glutamate in bone broth that has been cooked for 24 to 48 hours is free, and they both can hurt you pretty much equally from what my experience was. So like now if I do cook my soups, I don't cook them for maybe more than an hour or two. And just kind of drink the broth from that. That doesn't seem to bother me. But I also don't do that all the time. I'm a little bit shy after what I've been through. So I'll just tell you, I really want to get the word out because I meet all these people in my personal life and watch all these wonderful YouTube videos, and everybody is just shouting the praises of bone broth. And I'm like, do they have any idea? And some of these people that I meet in my personal life, they're sick. And they even have like fibromyalgia, which is one of the things it can cause. So I'm really trying to get the word out there. And I'm a little bit disappointed because I feel like the people who are marketing bone broth should be getting the word out there, like Dr. Axe, who I love and I respect, but I'm very disappointed because here he is, bone broth, and he's pretty much, most of the people who want to buy the bone broth are people who have GI issues, right? You want to fix your leaky gut, you got SIBO, you have H. pylori, you name it. I have all those things, so like everybody else, I wanted to fix all those problems, so I, believed in bone broth. And it made me very, very ill. So just to give you, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into my story here. I'm taking the bone broth. I'm even fasting a little bit, just really trying to detox and heal my gut, so I'm trying to do. And I get really ill. I get a cough. And it's a productive cough. Now, that's odd for me because I haven't had a cough or sore throat or allergies since I gave up wheat and dairy years ago. Now, yeah, I can still get the sick, get the flu, whatever, but I don't get those. Thank God I at least don't get those things, all right? So I'm like, this is weird, and I always go back to food because I know that there's, that's where it usually comes from. So anyway, I've got this productive cough, which is odd, and then I wake up one morning and my arms hurt so bad. I can't tell you how bad they hurt. This was not like, oh, I worked out really hard. First of all, I hadn't worked out, hadn't done anything, I hadn't picked up anything heavy, and I had not done those things, but this was not that kind of pain anyway. This was above and beyond that kind of pain, okay? So people who say they have fibromyalgia, they have chronic pain, I am so sorry, and I sympathize with you because if I got a taste of what you go through every day, I am so sorry because it was horrendous pain. And I almost cried, I really did, because I had to go to work. This was like my Monday, all right? I had to work all freaking week long, pulling and tugging on people, a little bit of a physical job, and my arms hurt so bad I couldn't hardly pick stuff up. Plus I'm panicked because I'm thinking, maybe I have MS, like this is bad, I'm going down, this is it. Because I don't know what's wrong with me. But I always go back to diet. I'm like, okay, now what have I done that's different? The only thing I've done different is this bone broth. Oh my God, bone broth is like Santa Claus. It can't hurt you, right? So, well, I start researching, and thank God for Google. And right away, I come across information about how bone broth can be harmful to people who have a glutamate sensitivity, right? I didn't know I had a glutamate sensitivity. I didn't know. but I know now. So anyway, I removed the glutamate. I cleaned out my cupboards because even though the glutamate's what made me ill, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't coming into contact with MSG because they're both free glutamate. One's man-made, and actually they're both man-made. I mean, come on, you cook the bones for 2 days. That's not natural. So anyway, but I get the whole concept that it's more natural than a man-made MSG. However, they both can hurt you because they both wind up with the same component, free glutamate, and that's what you have to. That's the takeaway from this. That's what you got. And Google it, research it. I tell you what I did. I even found an article in PubMed where they took patients that had fibromyalgia who had an MSG sensitivity, and they took them off MSG, and all their symptoms went away. All their symptoms went away. They put them back on MSG, and guess what? Their symptoms came back. I'm not saying 100% of the time that fibromyalgia is caused by MSG, but I am saying that free glutamate can cause pain and possibly fibromyalgia. So what I did was I cleaned out all my cupboards. I mean, the Montreal steak seasoning, like I had MSG in places I didn't even know, right? Because I didn't ever buy it on purpose. I thought I was pretty healthy. I was like reading labels, but I missed that. So anyway, now during this time, because my body was so inflamed and I needed to get well, and I needed to get well fast, I had to work. I have a family to support. I didn't even consume things that said natural flavorings because I had heard or read somewhere that sometimes natural flavorings may include items that have free glutamate. I didn't know for sure, and I just couldn't risk it. Now, I'm kind of back to eating some things that have natural flavors a little bit, but it doesn't seem to bother me, and I don't go overboard with it. I do not touch MSG, and I do not touch free glutamate. Now, let me tell you this. You may come into contact, you can't 100% avoid free glutamate because there is a little bit in like tomato sauce and in, I think, even red wine. So there's a few things that you're going to consume in life that have it, but those items don't have such an enormous amount, okay? Now, MSG and bone broth have an enormous amount, and you can get very, very ill, all right? So what you do, if you know, hey, I'm doing bone broth, and I feel like crap, like and everybody's symptoms can be different, okay? If you have joint pain on bone broth, if you have muscle pain on bone broth, if you have allergy symptoms, a cough, do not wait it out. Don't think, oh, this is just detox. No, 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 no. This is not detox, and you're not going to get better. You're going to get worse. Get off of it. Because that was my thing. I kind of thought at first my symptoms were detox, and I sort of wanted to stick it out because I so wanted to get better. And I thought wonderful Mr. Dr. Axe would have told me or put some kind of disclaimer out there if it could hurt some people. God bless him, but he didn't. So I had to figure this one out on my own, the hard way. School of hard knocks. Anyway, so what I did after I researched and figured out, okay, maybe this is what it was, and I still didn't know for sure. This is just all I had to go on. So I had read that if you drink loads of water, you can flush the free glutamate out of your body in about 3 days. So I did that. Now listen, the pain doesn't go away in 3 days. The symptoms do not go away in 3 days because what has happened is now your body is in an inflammatory state, and you are going to have to wait until it can process all that inflammation. The body's wonderful. It's really smart. It's going to get there. But it took about 5 weeks before the pain went away. And then it took another couple of weeks after that before the swelling went away. Yeah. I could look in the mirror, and I looked, in my opinion, I mean, I know my body. In my opinion, I thought, I just kind of look a little bit bloated all over. Like even my legs. I mean, I used to my gut because I got SIBO, right? But I'm like, even my legs look a little bit bloated. Like this is super duper weird. But glutamate can cause water retention, and free glutamate can also cause weight gain. So that's another thing. If you're having trouble you're gaining weight, you don't know why, check all this stuff out. Just be really, really careful, and please research it yourself. I promise there's a lot of information out there. You just type in free glutamate, and type in, like I'm saying, that one article on PubMed about the free glutamate and fibromyalgia, or MSG and fibromyalgia. There's a wealth of information out there, okay? So I'm just encouraging you to think outside the box, double check everything for yourself, and good luck.